New extreme fire warnings across Southern California as flames cause unprecedented and historic damage.
We're absolutely terrified, so we're just praying and hoping that doesn't happen, but we're very scared.
The death toll in California rises yet again as thousands of homes are destroyed, and in the midst of the worst fires to ever tear through Southern California, another threat that forecasters are calling a particularly dangerous situation, the return of strong winds of up to 70 miles per hour, which could ground firefighting from the sky.
As the increasing wind event is upon us as we speak, the Los Angeles City Fire Department has maximized our resource capabilities and response capabilities.
The all-out war firefighters are waging to save homes and lives. ABC News Live has a team reporting from the front lines as our Ginger Z tracks those Santa Ana winds. Plus, potential truce talks between Israel and Hamas, what a ceasefire would mean for the release of hostages after more than a year of fighting. And just days before he takes office, President-elect Trump's nominees prepare for their confirmation battles in the Senate. Good evening, everyone. I'm Linsey Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We do begin tonight with the new threat in hard-hit Los Angeles and the prospect of yet another long night ahead. Those particularly dangerous Santa Ana winds are set to return gusts of 70 miles per hour, and the threat zone is spreading. More than 12 million people are under red flag warnings. Firefighters continue to battle two major fires from the ground and the air. The U.S. National Guard released this video from inside the cockpit of a firefighting C-130, dropping retardant on the Palisades fire. But as we saw last week, the high winds tonight may ground that all-important air attack. The toll of these fires is already staggering. More than 12,000 homes and other structures have been destroyed. At least 24 people are dead. More than a dozen people are missing. Investigators are now looking closely at the early minutes of the Eaton fire, a couple running out of their home after seeing flames under a utility tower. And alongside the misery, there's been an outpouring of generosity at the Santa Anita Raceway. Thousands showed up at a donation center to help the tens of thousands in need. Our team is standing by in the fire zone, and we'll have that all-important wind forecast as we enter another challenging night. We begin with our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, from the hard-hit Pacific Palisades.
Tonight, Southern California again facing howling winds and extreme fire danger. The National Weather Service designating tonight's wind event as a particularly dangerous situation. Just a week after the most destructive fires in Southern California history left 24 people dead, more than 12,000 structures believed damaged or destroyed, and firefighters exhausted. And tonight, families on edge.
They said 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be very difficult to contain that fire.
Firefighters taking advantage of a break in those powerful winds that grounded crucial firefighting aircraft, making an all-out aerial assault on the Palisades fire over the past 48 hours. Massive air tankers dumping that pink phos check. Choppers swooping into canyons for precision drops over the fire lines. Reinforcements pouring in for both Mexico and Canada.
We are not in the clear as of yet, and we must not let our guard down. As we have right now extreme fire behavior.
At the Eaton fire, firefighters going through neighborhoods, mopping up hot spots, and search and rescue teams comb through the ashes.
And now the grueling task of digging through the debris for human remains, and firefighters from around the country are here. They have to clear every single one of these structures before they can allow people to move back in here.
Authorities aware of the mounting frustration here.
People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors. Please be patient with us. There's a lot of hazards in the area.
What's it like picking through, the destroyed remains of people's houses day after day?
Yeah, it's tedious work, but it's important because obviously there's people that were missing, that they want to have closure for their family members, their relatives, and their friends.
And as communities brace for this next wind event, tonight, possible clues as to how the Eaton fire started.
Hey, babe, I need you to come out here right now.
Jeffrey and Cheryl Koo capturing doorbell and cell phone video as they raced to evacuate their home in Altadena after they saw this fire near their home at around 6:19 p.m. Tuesday.
It was a nightmare, and I think the worst part was every time I checked on the fire, it got worse.
The Coos neighbors, Pedro Rojas and Jennifer Errico, also sending us their pictures and video, all showing what appears to be the same fire at the base of this electrical transmission tower. We tried to get a closer look.
Eaton Canyon is below me, and right there is that transmission tower that the Coos say they saw the fire burning initially. It may be one of several, or the first place where the fire started, but that's the tower, at least in the video.
And so far, ABC News has learned at least 4 homeowners and renters who lost their homes in the Eaton fire have filed lawsuits against Southern California Edison, alleging the company failed to de-energize equipment despite those wind warnings. Today, the head of SoCal Edison's parent company telling GMA they've seen no indication their equipment started the fire, but they're aware of the videos and investigating.
As soon as we can get close to it, we'll inspect and we'll be transparent with the public.
And tonight, we're learning more about some of the 24 victims of these historic fires. Anthony Mitchell, a loving grandfather, died alongside his son, Justin. Both were disabled and died while waiting for an ambulance to evacuate them from their home in Altadena. And 84-year-old Charles Mortimer, his family telling ABC he truly lived life to the fullest. And his infectious smile and never-ending sense of humor will be greatly missed.
Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, joins us now. And Matt, what are you thinking about for this neighborhood and for the 12 million people in Southern California currently under red flag warnings tonight?
You know, Lindsay, after last week, people, I think by and large, have been heeding evacuation warnings and orders, and people are scared. There is a real sense of fear about this next wind event because the last wind event was so utterly traumatic. I mean, this is destruction as far as the eye can see. And, you know, we cover natural disasters for a living, and often our cameras capture and are good at capturing small levels and scales of destruction, but we can't possibly capture the scale of this. I can't convey it to viewers how long it takes to drive through the destruction here, like 15 minutes. It's mind-boggling. So there's great concern about tonight's wind event. It is the National Weather Service's highest level of alert, and they are now pleading with folks here in LA and in Southern California. Because this is happening late at night and early into the morning, they are concerned that people might be caught sleeping in their beds. One of the reasons that I was told by firefighters that there were probably not more fatalities in the Palisades fire and here at the Eaton fire was because it happened mostly in the day or in the afternoon and evening. This is different. So officials here are pleading with folks not to turn off their emergency alerts overnight, to stay alert and just keep those things on and heed those evacuation warnings. They say lives are at stake, Lindsay.
So critical tonight, especially, as you say, because it's happening overnight. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you. And tonight, authorities in the fire zone say they have made at least 36 arrests for looting. But at the same time, thousands are stepping up to help. A massive grassroots donation center has popped up, offering everything from clothes to coffee pots to wheelchairs. Kana Whitworth reports from Altadena, California.
With a fresh round of fierce winds threatening more homes tonight, a growing relief effort to help tens of thousands who have already lost everything.
Sorry, I feel so bad for the people, so just wanted to come help somebody.
So many in desperate need. LA's new district attorney is warning anyone who tries to take advantage of them will face the consequences.
So the criminals have decided that this is an opportunity, and I'm here to tell you that this is not an opportunity. You will be arrested. You will be prosecuted.
At least 9 people have been arrested for looting, and prosecutors say some fire victims are also facing price gouging on everything from medical supplies to hotels. The Harrison Kambaramis and their twins lost everything when the fire swept through their rental home in Altadena, including Ferris-sized professional film gear. They say their insurer refused to cover them when they moved to a nearby rental in November.
We were kicking ourselves like when we saw the Palisade fire start. All of a sudden we're like, we never got another policy. And so, of course, it was too late at that point because our home burned the next day. Yeah.
So you saw it and you thought about it?
Yeah, I feel sick about it.
thousands now converging on the Santa Anita racetrack parking lot. It started with food vendors feeding their community.
They're giving away free food.
Their efforts going viral.
We have wheelchairs, we have coffee pots, we have blankets.
And tonight, organizers are urging anyone impacted by the fires to come get what they need.
So we're really hoping that we get more people that need these items to come and pick up the donations.
The time is now.
The time is now.
Happy to know at least those essentials are available for those who need it most. Kana Whitworth joins us now. And Kana, I know officials are out with a new fire map for residents. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Linsey. Some people are well aware, right, that they lost everything. There's others that have no idea if their home is standing or not. And so officials do have this new map of the fire zone. And this allows victims to put in their address and they can see the status of their home. They can go to recovery.lacounty.gov. It's a resource like this, Linsey, that is critically important at this time.
Of course it is. All right, Kana, our thanks to you. With the Santa Ana winds roaring back, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z. Ginger, certainly another long night ahead in the fire zone. Give us a sense of what we can expect.
Yeah, Linsey, I thought it was really important, the words and the strong wording that the National Weather Service Los Angeles used. They said that this setup is about as bad as it gets. Now, it is going to be different than last week. We've got these, Santa Ana winds that come through, but this upper level support, what you're seeing on the map right there, that kind of squeezes and makes it even more intense. And that's why they have this PDS, as we call it, a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning for the areas that you see highlighted there. This is where extreme fire risk will be from tomorrow morning through noon on Wednesday. So it's the Santa Monica Mountains, it's the San Gabriel there, the eastern ones, San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. By tonight, Calabasas, Agoura Hills, and those PDS red flag warnings are for the northern part, but you have a red flag warning that's quite strong, gusts of 45 to 60 miles per hour all the way down to the Mexican border. So that's still in the critical fire danger because the humidity is really low too. So those go through Wednesday. It's time-wise, starts tomorrow morning. We've got gusts at Fillmore at nearly 40, Santa Clarita at 40, Pacific Palisades even with gusts to 20. And these models don't show all of the little inner workings of the canyons and such. So some of those will be even higher. And that's why we have wind gusts up to 70, 75 miles per hour within that red flag warning. What that does to a fire is you've got a large wildfire that can spread really rapidly and have explosive growth. And that's why they're concerned going through noon Wednesday. And Linsey, we of course have to be tracking that Arctic air because so many people are getting in the chill. 22, the feels like, or 22 below, not even above, but 22 below there in Minneapolis tomorrow morning. Look at Washington, D.C. falling back into the single digits by Wednesday morning.
And Ginger, I do know it's your birthday, so perhaps as you're blowing out those birthday candles tonight, we'll say a collective wish for you that those Santa Ana winds are going to slow down. Ginger, happy birthday to you.
That would be the greatest wish. Thank you.
Among the rubble in Altadena is the neighborhood's historically black community, and 3 generations of one family have been impacted. The biggest loss for them, grandmother Ernestine Brown Turner's home, which burned to the ground. Her late husband bought it in the 1960s. The items lost include slave memorabilia. Joining us now are Miss Ernestine, her daughter Iya, and her granddaughter Imani. Thank you all so much for joining us. We just have to say what I know has been said before. We are so sorry for your loss, and certainly our hearts go out to you and so many who are in a similar predicament. Miss Ernestine, I'd like to just start with you. When you evacuated, did you have a chance to take anything at all with you when you left? Did you think you'd be returning back home again?
I thought indeed I would be returning. I took very little, couple of pair of pants and tops.
Imani, what was it like when you went back to the house after the fire?
Honestly, it was extremely shocking. We kind of still had the hope as we were driving up the neighborhood, but there was no neighborhood left. And so we were kind of like, well, maybe it's that house, this house. It's been really hard to process. That something was so beautiful and there and is now gone.
And no insurance on the house?
I definitely had insurance. I didn't have fire insurance.
And so where are you all staying now?
We're here in my home, which has been on the set mode for quite a bit, each day. So we haven't unpacked from when we evacuated, which is very scary because it feels like my home is what we have left.
And so you're currently in an evacuation zone where your home is in Pasadena.
Warning area. Yeah, they do a ready, set, go, and we're in set. And the winds are coming back, so we've not been sleeping well.
As I would imagine. For all of you, I'm curious if you can give us a sense, those of us who don't know the history of Altadena, how it was a place when redlining was taking place that Black people actually could build. Just give us a sense of what has been lost in that community.
What I know of is that there was a community, even in our famous Old Town that's in Pasadena, but that a lot of African-American people lived in Altadena, and going up closer to the mountain is like more of an accomplishment even. So for my mom to be in Altadena for 50 years, and I lived in 3 different properties, so I know all the stores, all the little streets, all of the friends. I have several friends that have lost their properties as well. And so it's devastating because you get these places that you frequented for years that are gone. And with my mom, she had my grandmother's sewing machine. She had, the heirloom quilts. And, if we were to have to evacuate again, you can't take, I have the last slave of our enslaved person's dresser in my home. But when you're in shock and you got to go, you don't take the dresser with you. You don't even remember the dresser. So my mom had a picture of herself at 5 years old. That's gone. She had 3 photo walls of almost everyone in our family. They're gone. So we, you lose a lot.
Of course, of course. Imani, anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I'm just also incredibly surprised and grateful at how much, even though we've lost so much, that the community, we all need each other. And it's been a lifeline to have the texts and the calls from family members, friends, church, to help you know what to do. My friends were the first ones to let us know, what part of the city to evacuate to. In the beginning, there were no clear directions, but there's been an outpouring of just support. Even those who've lost their homes, we're all calling each other to see how we can support. And I think that is what helps, is to not feel alone in the process.
Sure. And just lastly, Ms. Ernestine, your granddaughter talked about rebuilding. Is that something that you're thinking about doing down the road in Altadena?
I am. Of course, I'm 82 years old, but I'm still alive, fully alive. I am thinking about it. I'm praying about it. And it says, Lord, what's next for me? I'm in a very good place in my life with my faith and my friends, and I don't want to just leave them up.
Sure.
I feel safe where I was living. So I'm not sure what will happen, but I might rebuild.
All right. Well, Ms. Ernestine, Imani, Iya, we thank you all so much for taking the time to talk with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Congresswoman Judy Chu. She represents California's 28th district, which has been hit hard by the Eaton fire. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you represent those constituents right there from Altadena. Give us a sense of what you've been hearing and how they're doing.
Well, the people are devastated. They're shell-shocked and numb. Everything that they had is now gone. Even the slightest memory from a picture or a souvenir or anything is totally burned and gone. And so their lives have suddenly been taken away from them. And so many of them have been impacted in that area of Altadena that in events around there now, I can't walk 2 or 3 feet without somebody telling me that they lost their home. So many lost their home. 7,000 structures were burned. it is like an apocalypse. It's like a bomb went off in Altadena and Pasadena, where blocks and blocks of homes are now rubble, and the whole business district is gone. All the institutions like the Altadena Post Office and Senior Center have all burned to the ground. Many of the religious institutions like the Altadena Mosque and the Altadena Community Church are gone. So the things that are familiar to them, all gone. So it's just devastating to the people there. And that's why it's so important for us to come together and provide them the resources they need.
And what are those resources? Have you heard from the community as far as what they need most?
Well, many of them did flee with just the clothes on their back. So they do need those necessities, the necessities that you saw at the Santa Anita racetrack. So they need more clothes. They need diapers. They need just ways to be able to deal with their toiletries. And actually, there is a water prohibition in the area also on top of all of this. So they can't drink the regular tap water. And so that's why you see the mountains of water bottles there, because that's the only way that they can drink, shower, even brush their teeth.
You may have heard earlier today, Mike Johnson said that he felt that the money that goes to California should come with some conditions. Are you confident that you'll be able to get the resources that you need from the federal government?
Well, in previous disaster packages, they have not come with conditions. In fact, we just passed one in December for the Maui fires and the different hurricanes, and they were not with conditions. And I just have to emphasize that wildfires do not have a political affiliation. They do not have a political party. Everybody is affected and devastated by these wildfires, and they are of all different backgrounds, persuasions, and everything. And it is my hope that Speaker Johnson and Trump will see that it is important to help these individuals whose lives were so destroyed.
The LA Times had this headline that said Altadena had soul, solitude, and community. Can those qualities survive the devastating firestorm? Your thoughts?
Altadena is a really special place, so I was so glad that you had the profile on that family. Altadena is very diverse, and let me say that it was a welcoming place to many Black families who were fleeing the Jim Crow South in the 1900s. And they were looking for a place that was affordable, but also that would welcome them without the redlining that was occurring in other places of LA. So there's a strong Black community there. There's also, there were so many mom and pop small businesses that people absolutely loved. It was a very special place with a lot of creators, a lot of creative people that loved the kind of like homey and natural atmosphere that was there.
All right, Congresswoman.
Can they rebuild? I am hoping and praying that they rebuild.
All right, Congresswoman Judy Chu, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Those ongoing wildfires in Los Angeles have pushed the Oscar nominations back by almost a week from their original date. Nominations will now be announced January 23rd, but the Oscars are still scheduled to happen as planned on March 2nd. Meanwhile, the Grammy Awards will also happen as scheduled on February 2nd, according to a letter sent out to Recording Academy members, but with a renewed sense of purpose by helping to raise money to support wildfire relief efforts. The decisions come as wildfires have displaced over 100,000 residents and destroyed countless homes. President Biden says a hostage release and ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas is, quote, on the brink. There are still American hostages in Gaza tonight. ABC's chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest.
Tonight, President Biden says a long-sought deal to release the hostages held by Hamas in exchange for a ceasefire in Gaza is finally within reach.
We're on the brink of a proposal that I laid out in detail months ago, finally coming to fruition.
With just days left in office, the White House working closely with Donald Trump's Mideast negotiator to broker a deal. The president-elect has been blunt.
If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
Sources tell us the deal would initially see Hamas releasing over 30 hostages, including some Americans. The administration believes there are 7 American hostages in Gaza, 3 of whom are thought to be alive. In exchange, Israel would pause fighting so desperately needed aid can get into Gaza, clearing the way for the remaining hostages to be released and ultimately a new governing body to be established.
Our thanks to Mary Bruce. We're joined now by Mick Mulroy, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, retired CIA officer and U.S. Marine, and ABC News national security and defense analyst. Mick, we've been hearing about a possible deal for months now. Why do you think it's likely to happen now?
So, Lindsay, there's several factors. First of all, Hamas feels very isolated. They've seen Iran take several strategic losses, including their base of operations in Syria with the fall of the Assad regime. They've seen Hezbollah leadership decimated, their capacity to fight reduced substantially, and a ceasefire, and they're essentially on their own. So this is probably the best they can get right now going into a second Trump administration. And also, I'd have to say, Israel feels pressure, both from the current administration and the very significant effort they put into getting this ceasefire, but also, as we just saw, President Trump essentially telling all parties he wants to see a ceasefire before he takes office on 20 January. So I think this is a very substantial factor when it comes to whether we could see a ceasefire. But of course, we've seen this many times before, so there's very cautious optimism.
How do you imagine the hostages will be returned, both those who are alive and those who have been killed as well?
So if this is a brokered ceasefire, that is the safest way to get hostages back, as opposed to a military operation, which is very risky. So it'll likely be that they'll take the Palestinian prisoners that they have agreed to swap, and they will do this at the same time, likely brokered by either the Red Crescent or the Red Cross, some neutral party that can be trusted by both sides, and that they will do that simultaneously. So both sides are confident as the stages go that they will get what they agreed to in this ceasefire agreement. And of course, it's more than just swapping hostages for prisoners. It's also an increase in humanitarian aid and a withdrawal of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, out of populated areas. So a lot of this will need to happen at the same time to give confidence to both sides of this agreement.
As we heard in Mary Bruce's piece there, a deal would allow a pause in the fighting between Israel and Hamas. And what happens once that pause is over?
So this would be the first phase of a potentially 3-phase agreement. And they have to negotiate, of course, to go from the first phase to the second phase. But the first phase will see about 30 hostages, as you just laid out, returned. If that goes well, then there'll be more hostages released for more Palestinian prisoners and potentially more withdrawal of the IDF out of population centers. But this is the first phase, but it is a big step that could lead to an eventual permanent ceasefire.
All right, well, many people crossing their fingers for that. Certainly, Mick Mulroy, our thanks to you. So much more to get to here on Prime, including the special counsel releases its final report on Hunter Biden. The harsh words included for President Biden. Plus, the country superstar slated to perform at President-elect Trump's inauguration. We reveal the 8-time Grammy winner ahead.
For the record, your name is Xavier Collins.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
Yes.
When was the last time you saw Cal Bradford alive?
Agent Collins, have a seat. I walked the president to his room at 2204.
When did you discover the body?
At 801, that's when I found him lying next to his bed.
Did you kill him?
No.
Is a part of you happy that Cal is dead?
Is suffocating. We are all here to help them. We're going to make this happen. We have 96 hours to build a house.
Come on, guys, it's moving day. Let's go. It can't be real.
This was more than just extreme home makeover. This was extreme life makeover.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition, Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
I only have one rule. Stay out of the basement. What do you got in the basement? I can't talk about it quite yet.
There's something down there that will destroy the world.
We're talking about a monster, a real monster.
You are in danger. Kids are disappearing.
Freeze Morgan Guillory Major Crimes.
Where did you get this?
Check out at the dollar store.
You hired me because I noticed things that you miss.
Let's solve this case.
Bingo.
Our killer's name is Dubois.
Did you just Google who's the killer on your phone, Morgan?
No, I did not do that.
All we want is to find our way home.
I'll get you home.
A crew of murderous bounty hunters is coming after us. We have to move fast.
We have no idea who he is.
You can trust me.
You're a Jedi, right?
Of course.
What just happened?
Watch this.
Skeleton Crew. New episodes Tuesdays, only on Disney+.
So what would you do?
I didn't think they were going to send me a female driver. I'm not getting in the car with you.
If you saw a professional female driver treated like this?
I don't trust women drivers. I would like a male driver. Can you call your boss?
I'm a professional. I've been doing this for years.
Are you going to be doing your makeup on the whole time?
Would you step in?
You don't need to insult her.
Wait till you see what happens.
I just wanted to protect her. Women need to support other women.
So the question is, what would you do?
We are good drivers, by the way.
All new Wednesday night on ABC.
Special counsel David Weiss has released his final report on his investigation of Hunter Biden with harsh words for the president. Here's ABC's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, the special counsel who led the investigation into Hunter Biden with sharp words for the president's decision to pardon his son. In his final report, special counsel David Weiss saying, other presidents have pardoned family members, but in doing so, none have taken the occasion as an opportunity to malign the public servants at the Department of Justice based solely on false accusations. Hunter Biden was convicted on federal charges for lying on a gun form. During the trial, the president telling David he would not pardon his son.
Have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes. But days before Hunter Biden was set to be sentenced for that crime and for 9 tax-related charges to which he had pleaded guilty, the president reversed himself, granting his son a full and unconditional pardon. The president saying Hunter Biden was treated differently and singled out only because he is my son, that he was selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Tonight in his report, Weiss firing back, saying these baseless accusations have no merit and repeating them threatens the integrity of the justice system as a whole. And while the president called the prosecutions of his son a miscarriage of justice, tonight the special counsel defending them as the culmination of thorough, impartial investigations, not partisan politics.
Pierre Thomas reporting. ABC's senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott joins us now. And Rachel, we have confirmation hearings this week for nearly a dozen cabinet members. One of the most controversial, Pete Hegseth for defense secretary. What can we expect as far as his nomination is concerned?
Yeah, Lindsay, talk about a whirlwind of a week here up on Capitol Hill. Nearly a dozen Senate confirmation hearings for some of Donald Trump's controversial and also unconventional picks. So starting with Pete Hegseth, his pick for defense secretary, that kicks off here on Capitol Hill and the Senate Armed Services Committee tomorrow. And of course, Pete Hegseth is a former Fox News host. He has been fending off allegations of sexual misconduct, financial mismanagement, as well as excessive drinking, all of which he denies. Sources do tell us that the FBI has completed a background check on Hegseth and also questioned people in his personal life. I will tell you, I'm learning from sources that he has been doing these mock hearings, preparing to be in the hot seat. He will certainly face a lot of questions from senators on both sides of the aisle.
We can expect that. And another controversial pick is Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. What movement has there been with her nomination?
Yeah, and right now, Tulsi Gabbard is really going door to door here on Capitol Hill, trying to convince Republicans and even Democrats to come on board and support her confirmation process. We chased her down in the hallway today because she has changed her stance on a surveillance tool known as FISA. She voted against FISA reauthorization as a member of Congress. And then she has since now changed and shifted her position on that, all in hopes of winning over some Democrats or Republicans who were critical of her. At least one Senator, James Langford, says he will now support her in this confirmation process. But so far, no official confirmation hearing has been scheduled for her. There's still some back and forth on the paperwork there.
And Rachel, we have word tonight on at least one performer at Donald Trump's inauguration. Give us a sense of what we're hearing.
Yeah, Carrie Underwood is going to be performing. In a statement, she says, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and be part of this historic event." She went on to say, "I'm humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Lindsay, I can't believe I'm saying this. The inauguration is now just 1 week away.
Oh, it is so hard to believe that. Rachel Scott, our thanks to you. Still much more to get to. Coming up, WNBA star Caitlin Clark has to change her public appearances because of an alleged stalker. Plus, a look at the uphill battle that thousands of families now face when it comes to insurance claims amid the LA wildfires. Tonight's By the Numbers is next.
I only have one rule. Stay out of the basement. What do you got in the basement? I can't talk about it quite yet.
There's something down there that will destroy the world.
We're talking about a monster, a real monster. You are in danger. Kids are disappearing.
The news never stops.
From Tampa, we are here tonight as Hurricane Milton has just made landfall.
The surge just keeps coming up.
Right on the border between Ukraine and Russia. We're in artillery position about 2 miles away from Gaza.
And ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
We're not far from where this rally took place, so just stick with us here.
Traveling with the president to the U.S.-Mexico border.
Here in London today.
Off the coast of Gaza.
Downtown Tel Aviv, rockets or missiles coming in.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii. Some areas are still smoldering.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines, the ruins of Rafah.
From the FBI.
Reporting from Capitol Hill.
In western Portugal.
Outside of Mexico City.
In Iceland. Let's go.
Here in France.
The eclipse across America.
Just stunning.
Unbelievable.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there. You're streaming. ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere because the news never stops.
For the record, your name is Xavier Collins.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
Yes.
When was the last time you saw Cal Bradford alive?
Agent Collins, have a seat.
I walked the president to his room at 2204.
When did you discover the body?
At 8:01, that's when I found him lying next to his bed.
Did you kill him?
No.
Is a part of you happy that Cal is dead?
So what would you do?
I didn't think they were going to send me a female driver. I'm not getting in the car with you.
If you saw a professional female driver treated like this.
I don't trust women drivers. I would like a male driver. Can you call your boss?
I'm a professional. I've been doing this for years.
Are you going to be doing your makeup on the whole time?
Would you step in?
You don't need to insult her.
Wait till you see what happens.
I just wanted to protect her. Women need to support other women.
So the question is, what would you do?
We are good drivers, by the way.
All new Wednesday night on ABC.
All we want is to find our way home.
I'll get you home. Got a crew of murderous bounty hunters. He's coming after us. We have to move fast.
We have no idea who he is.
You can trust me.
You're a Jedi, right?
Of course.
What just happened?
Watch this.
Skeleton Crew. New episodes Tuesdays only on Disney+.
The news never stops. We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
Hurricane Helene screaming across the state.
And that's why ABC News Live never stops.
Taking you to the center of the story. As news breaks live.
ABC News Live is there for you all morning live. Right there as events unfold across the day. Breaking down the day's top stories.
ABC News Live Prime going there wherever the story is.
And ABC News Live lighting up the weekend.
ABC News Live.
Because the news never stops.
From the intense lake effect snow in Adams, New York, I'm Trevor Ault. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back, everyone. Santa Ana winds are picking up as we speak, threatening new areas around Los Angeles that have not burned and are very dry. For years now, insurers have been pulling out of those Los Angeles markets, fearing that climate change could fuel catastrophic fires. With those fires now upon us, we take a look by the numbers of the problems that lie ahead for insurers and policyholders alike. AccuWeather estimates total economic losses from the fires is nearing $150 billion. Only Hurricanes Harvey and Katrina were more costly. And, of course, the Los Angeles area is not out of the woods just yet. But insurance is estimated to only cover 1/4 to 1/2 of that $150 billion figure. Homeowners are expected to bear 85% of the insured losses, the rest coming from commercial property and automobile losses. The combination of more people with more homes and increasingly severe droughts and temperatures 3 degrees warmer than a century ago, and that puts 27% of all Los Angeles homes at major risk of being affected by a wildfire in the next 30 years, according to data from First Street Technology. And in Pacific Palisades and parts of Altadena that have seen the worst destruction, about 95% of homes were already at major risk. That's one reason why since 2022, 7 of the top 12 insurance companies have paused or did not renew homeowners' policies in California. That information, according to the state's Department of Insurance. And we still have much more to get to here on Prime. She's one of the most prolific and successful songwriters of our time. Diane Warren has faced tragedy in the California wildfires and is the subject of a new documentary. She sits down with us and dishes on being shortlisted once again for Best Original Song at this year's Academy Awards. The flu, COVID, and cold viruses are now spreading in many parts of the country. Who's at risk and where? Stay with us.
The news never stops.
From Tampa, we are here tonight as Hurricane Milton has just made landfall.
The surge just keeps coming up.
Right on the border between Ukraine and Russia. We're in artillery position about 2 miles away from Gaza.
And ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
We're not far from where this rally took place, so just stick with us here.
Traveling with the president to the U.S.-Mexico border.
Here in London today, off the coast of Gaza.
Downtown Tel Aviv, rockets or missiles coming in.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii. Some areas are still smoldering.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines, the ruins of Rafah.
From the FBI.
Reporting from Capitol Hill.
In western Portugal, outside of Mexico City.
In Iceland. Let's go.
Here in France,
The eclipse across America.
Just stunning.
Unbelievable.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere because the news never stops.
Freeze Morgan Guillory Major Crimes.
Where did you get this?
Check out at the dollar store.
You hired me because I noticed things that you miss.
Let's solve this case.
Bingo. Our killer's name is Dubois.
Did you just Google who's the killer on your phone, Morgan?
No, I did not do that.
this family is suffocated. We are all here to help them. We're going to make this happen. We have 96 hours to build a house.
Come on, guys, it's moving day. Let's go. It can't be real.
This was more than just Extreme Home Makeover. This was Extreme Life Makeover.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition, Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
So what would you do?
I didn't think they were going to send me a female driver. I'm not getting in the car with you.
If you saw a professional female driver treated like this?
I don't trust women drivers. I would like a male driver. Can you call your boss?
I'm a professional. I've been doing this for years.
Are you going to be doing your makeup on the whole time?
Would you step in?
You don't need to insult her.
Wait till you see what happens.
I just wanted to protect her. Women need to support other women.
So the question is, what would you do?
We are good drivers, by the way.
All new Wednesday night on ABC.
I only have one rule. Stay out of the basement. What do you got in the basement? I can't talk about it quite yet.
There's something down there that will destroy the world.
We're talking about a monster, a real monster. You are in danger. Kids are disappearing.
New numbers from the CDC about the alarming rise of respiratory illnesses across much of the country. A man is arrested accused of stalking WNBA star Caitlin Clark, and millions take a holy dip for what's believed to be the world's largest religious gathering. These stories and more in tonight's rundown.
Respiratory illnesses, including common cold, flu, COVID, and RSV, are increasing in most areas of the country, according to the CDC. The agency estimates there have been at least 9.1 million illnesses, 110,000 hospitalizations, and 4,700 deaths from flu so far this season. At least 17 pediatric flu deaths have been reported, with 6 reported this week. NFL hopeful Kyron Lacy, one of the top wide receiver prospects in this year's draft, has been arrested for negligent homicide in connection with a deadly crash in Louisiana last month. In addition to negligent homicide, he faces felony hit and run and reckless operation of a vehicle charges. Police allege Lacy was driving recklessly, causing a car to collide with oncoming traffic. A 78-year-old man was killed. Lacy's agent said he is fully cooperating with authorities and that they strongly believe the facts will ultimately demonstrate the truth. A 55-year-old Texas man was arrested on a felony stalking charge in Indianapolis after he allegedly sent repeated threats and sexually explicit messages to Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark via social media, according to court documents. Police records show that Michael Lewis of Denton, Texas, was charged with a level 5 felony after he was arrested at a hotel in Indianapolis. According to an affidavit, Clark told police she feared for her safety and had to alter her public appearances and patterns of movement. Lewis is scheduled to appear in court Tuesday morning. Walmart is warning customers to throw away chicken broth that was sold in 9 states. The retail giant says 48-ounce cartons of great value family-sized chicken broth should be discarded due to a packaging error that could allow the product to spoil before its expiration date. The company says affected customers can ask for a full refund. The USDA has released its report into the listeria outbreak linked to Boar's Head deli meats. According to the report, inspectors found that unsanitary conditions at the company's Virginia plant contributed to the outbreak. Earlier this year, at least 59 people in 19 states were hospitalized and at least 10 people died as a result of the bacterial infection. Several wrongful death lawsuits have been filed against the company. Boar's Head has previously apologized and said comprehensive measures are being implemented to prevent such an incident from ever happening again. Nearly 15 million Hindus took a dip in freezing water today in India to kick off what is thought to be the world's largest religious gathering. According to the Hindu faithful, the holy dip is seen as cleansing oneself of sin and ending the process of reincarnation. Held every 12 years, the festival will take place over the next 45 days, where Hindus will gather at the intersection of 3 sacred rivers and take part in a ritual dating back centuries.
Today marks 3 years since American David Barnes, a 67-year-old from Texas, was first detained in Russia. The father of 2 was sentenced by a judge last February to 21 years on charges that he abused his sons in Texas, even though the allegations were previously deemed uncredible by Texas authorities. Barnes' family says he went there after a child custody dispute involving his Russian ex-wife. ABC News sat with his sisters and best friend, who had this to say.
But we feel forgotten. We feel ignored and forgotten, and 1,095 days have passed today's the 3rd anniversary of David's incarceration, and this is getting old, and it's wearing on us, but it's not about us. It's about David. We want David home.
Barnes's family is urging the U.S. State Department to intervene for his release. She's one of the most prolific songwriters of all time, writing 9 number 1 and 33 top 10 Billboard hits. Diane Warren's catalog includes Because You Love Me for Celine Dion and Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. She's earned multiple Grammy, Emmy, and Golden Globe awards for her work. But recently, Diane has faced unimaginable personal loss. Her home was among the many destroyed in the devastating wildfire around Los Angeles. Now, a new documentary offers an intimate look at her journey. Let's watch a clip from Diane Warren, Relentless.
It's about your work. I'm still hungry and wanting to write my next song and have people hear them. This isn't a job, this is my life. You can't retire from your life.
Joining us now is the Diane Warren. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good to see you. The journey.
The journey, yes. Give us a sense of why you decided to go on this journey. Consider, I mean, you're a notoriously private person. This involved having cameras in your life for, what, 3 years?
No, I didn't have cameras in my life for 3 years. It was mainly like Bess Cardman, the director, would sit down and try to get me to talk. And half the time I'd be, I'll be right back, and I'd be, you know, going to write a song or something. So it wasn't like a camera following me around, you know, nothing like that, you know. But it was, you know, kind of strange to do this, you know. But I think it's cool to do it.
Is it in any way kind of an I told you so to all the doubters? I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, okay, so my whole life is proving people wrong.
Yeah.
I love proving people
Including
wrong.
your mom.
Including my mom. My mom was the first one I had to prove wrong. But you know what? What are the chances? Like, I'm from Van Nuys. I'm a songwriter. My dad sold insurance. What are the chances? But I knew this is what I wanted to do, and nothing was going to stop me, you know. And that was, by the way, that's the name of my first Oscar-nominated song was Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. You know, there's always there's a theme in these songs when I think about it. You know, to now with The Journey, which I'm hoping is my 16th, you know, nomination, you know, from the movie The 688, which is this determination. Like these women in that story, you know, that nothing could stop them.
And you have done a perfect segue. Let's take a look at a clip of your song, The Journey, from Tyler Perry's film, The 688.
All the times you thought you'd never make it through, felt just like the world just turned its back on you. Didn't stop you.
You have 15 Academy Award nominations. This is already believed to be on the short list with regard, once again, Song of the Year. How much would it mean?
Though.
I haven't won yet. Well, you have an honorary.
I have an honorary Oscar, but not the and no, the honorary Oscar is amazing. That's probably harder to get even than, you know, the competitive Oscar. But, you know, it would be great to win. But being nominated is winning because they only choose 5 songs. So if they choose your song, you've won.
Based on the documentary, there are a number of people who've said, this is my best song yet. Do you have in your mind the best song so far?
I mean, I feel like my best songs maybe aren't written yet, but I think The Journey is among the best songs I've ever written. And a lot of people are telling me that, too. So it's not just me going, oh, Diane's saying it's her best song she ever wrote. So I get excited, and I believe it, you know, and this one I think is.
You just said, I believe it. And that was something that struck me in the documentary, where you talk about you only need one person to believe in you, and that's yourself. But you also, your dad believed in you, right? And he's taking you guitar lessons, which I thought was hilarious, where one of them says, don't ever bring Diane back. She has no future in music.
Don't bring her back, because I just didn't want to learn these stupid scales. I wanted to make up my own songs. But I had my dad believing in me, and just as important, and maybe even more important, was I had to prove my mom wrong. And so I love proving people wrong. It's my favorite thing to do. One of my favorite things to do. So I had that one, and the one thing I had my dad believing, and the other I had my mom, you know, doubting. So, you know, it was a great combination. But then after my mom passed away, I found she had left a scrapbook of all the press clippings and stuff.
So in the end, she was proud.
Yeah, no, I knew she was proud, you know. But at the time, you know, like, again, what are the chances? You know, you're from Van Nuys, you don't know anybody, you know, but, you know, I was not going to stop, and, you know, I'm relentless.
As the title says. And speaking of Van Nuys, it'd be remiss if we didn't talk about, of course, you're a native LA.
Yeah, it's terrible what's going on. It's just terrible.
How is that impacting you personally?
It's impacting me, you know. It's impacting me. It's impacting a lot of my friends. And it's, you know, and I have a rescue ranch in Malibu that all the animals are okay, thank God, right now. But it's impacting me and a lot of my friends in other ways.
Okay, all right.
Well, and I'm just, it's like the worst thing that's ever happened. And I mean, I think the worst fire ever in LA.
It is.
You know.
Yes. It does have
It's
that
just
distinction, unfortunately.
so terrible, you know, and just seeing the images and I don't know, so.
An emotional time for so many. We are at the same time very excited. Fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
Diane Warren, we thank you so much for being with us. Diane Warren, Relentless is in theaters now and will be available to stream on Masterclass beginning January 16th. Finally, tonight, the City of Angels saving the pets. Here's World News Tonight anchor David Muir.
Tonight, across Los Angeles, the pets being saved. The Pasadena Humane Society taking in animals recovered from the fire zone.
They're really dehydrated.
Roxy found in a house that had collapsed, her white coat covered in ash from the Eaton fire. Dr. Anna Sarfati and veterinary technician Vanessa Ortiz caring for her, tending to her burns. Dozens of donations arriving at the shelter, pet food, medicine for the animals.
Hi, David. We've taken in about 600 animals so far.
Dia Duvernay from the Pasadena Humane Society telling us every donation counts.
It really is a huge effort to take care of all these animals who need our help.
The nonprofit Wings of Rescue flying shelter pets out of the fire zone to safety. Hazel, Sergio, Magoo, and Archie.
This tripod?
Rick Browdy greeting the pets inside their kennels, inside the plane.
Hi, David. In the past 2 days, we've flown 2 flights carrying nearly 200 pets to shelters in the Pacific Northwest. We have at least 8 more flights on tap.
86 shelter pets sent to Utah, 6 to Oregon, 70 flown to Seattle. Pilots Felipe Morales and Justin Schneider with the puppies, hoping to find them homes elsewhere.
If your viewers would like to help us save even more pets, please go to www.wingsofrescue.org/donate. Thank you so much.
And so many of you saw the image captured by our team in Altadena. A lost dog standing by this firefighter as he battled the flames. Max, separated from his family in the Eaton fire. Dog trainer Chris Abkarian of Clutch Canine in Whittier, California, called in to help. Taking in Max, his family has been found tonight.
We're gonna go and take him to our facility, get him food, get him water, and then reunite him with his owners.
Good boy. Max is doing well, his family preparing for his safe return. The firefighter who comforted Max.
Hi, everyone.
Firefighter paramedic Slater Lee.
We'll continue to do our hard work and do as much as we possibly can to support you guys.
Tonight, the City of Angels living up to its name.
Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Our thanks to David for that. And that is our show for this hour. I'm Linsey Davis. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Coming up in the next hour, a new warning in the wildfire emergency ravaging the Los Angeles area. We have the latest live on the ground. Plus, President Biden says a deal between Israel and Hamas is close. What does it mean for the hostages still in Gaza?
For the record, your name is Xavier Collins.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
Yes.
When was the last time you saw Cal Bradford alive?
Agent Collins, have a seat.
I walked the president to his room at 2204.
When did you discover the body?
At 8:01, that's when I found him lying next to his bed.
Did you kill him?
No.
Is a part of you happy that Cal is dead?
This family is suffocated. We are all here to help them. We're gonna make this happen. We have 96 hours to build a house.
Come on, guys, it's moving day. Let's go. It can't be real.
This was more than just extreme home makeover. This was extreme life makeover.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition, Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Are you ready? Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be here.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
Michael, George, Clara,
Ginger.
All we want is to find our way home.
I'll get you home. Got a crew of murderous bounty hunters. He's coming after us. We have to move fast.
We have no idea who he is.
You can trust me.
You're a Jedi, right?
Of course.
What just happened?
Watch this.
Skeleton Crew. New episodes Tuesdays, only on Disney+.
The news never stops.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
We appeared to be gunfire. The former president rushed off the stage.
Hurricane Helene ravaging the coastline of Florida.
It's moving really fast, screaming across the state.
And that's why ABC News Live never stops.
Taking you to the center of the story.
As news breaks live.
We hear the small arms fire around us.
We're right on the border between Ukraine and Russia.
ABC News Live is there for you at the start of your day all morning live. ABC News Live, right there, as events unfold across the day. ABC News Live, breaking down the day's top stories.
Lyle and Eric Menendez, there is new evidence in this case.
ABC News Live Prime going there, wherever the story is.
Are you going to build it back up? And ABC News Live, lighting up the weekends.
With breaking news and all the latest pop headlines.
Happy Oscars Sunday.
A lot to watch for tonight.
ABC News Live. Because the news never stops.
Reporting from Monterey Park, California, I'm Robin Roberts. Wherever the story is, we're going to take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Linsey Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We begin tonight with the new threat in hard-hit Los Angeles and yet another long night ahead. Those particularly dangerous Santa Ana winds are set to return with gusts of 70 miles per hour. And the threat zone is spreading. More than 12 million people are under red flag warnings. Firefighters continue to battle two major fires from the ground and the air. The U.S. National Guard released this video from inside the cockpit of a firefighting C-130, dropping retardant on the Palisades fire. But as we saw last week, the high winds tonight may make that all-important air attack. The toll of these fires is already staggering. More than 12,000 homes and other structures have been destroyed. At least 24 people are dead. More than a dozen people are missing. Investigators are now closely looking at the early minutes of the Eaton fire. A couple running out of their home. You see them here after seeing flames under that utility tower. And alongside the misery, there's been an outpouring of generosity at the Santa Anita Raceway. Thousands showed up at a donation center to help the tens of thousands in need. Our team is in the fire zone, standing by once again tonight, and we'll have that all-important wind forecast as we enter another challenging night. We begin with our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, from hard-hit Altadena.
Tonight, Southern California again facing howling winds and extreme fire danger. The National Weather Service designating tonight's wind event as a particularly dangerous situation, just a week after the most destructive fires in Southern California history left 24 people dead, more than 12,000 structures believed damaged or destroyed, and firefighters exhausted. And tonight, families on edge.
They said 70-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to be very difficult to contain that fire.
Firefighters taking advantage of a break in those powerful winds that grounded crucial firefighting aircraft, making an all-out aerial assault on the Palisades fire over the past 48 hours. Massive air tankers dumping that pink Phos-check. Choppers swooping into canyons for precision drops over the fire lines. Reinforcements pouring in for both Mexico and Canada.
We are not in the clear as of yet, and we must not let our guard down.
At the Eaton fire, firefighters going through neighborhoods, mopping up hot spots, as search and rescue teams comb through the ashes.
And now the grueling task of digging through the debris for human remains. And firefighters from around the country are here. They have to clear every single one of these structures before they can allow people to move back in here.
Authorities aware of the mounting frustration here.
People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors. Please be patient with us.
And as communities brace for this next wind event, tonight, possible clues as to how the Eaton fire started.
Hey, babe, I need you to come out here right now.
Jeffrey and Cheryl Koo capturing doorbell and cell phone video as they raced to evacuate their home in Altadena after they saw this fire near their home at around 6:19 p.m. Tuesday.
It was a nightmare, and I think the worst part was every time I checked on the fire, it got worse.
The Coos neighbors, Pedro Rojas and Jennifer Errico, also sending us their pictures and video, all showing what appears to be the same fire at the base of this electrical transmission tower. We tried to get a closer look.
Eaton Canyon is below me, and right there is that transmission tower that the Coos say they saw the fire burning initially. It may be one of several, or the first place where the fire started, but that's the tower, at least in the video.
And so far, ABC News has learned at least 4 homeowners and renters who lost their homes in the Eaton fire have filed lawsuits against Southern California Edison, alleging the company failed to de-energize equipment despite those wind warnings. Today, the head of SoCal Edison's parent company telling GMA they've seen no indication their equipment started the fire, but they're aware of the videos and investigating.
As soon as we can get close to it, we'll inspect and we'll be transparent with the public.
So many looking for that transparency. Our thanks to Matt Gutman. Let's bring in ABC's Melissa Don in Altadena. Melissa, what can you tell us about the search for those still missing tonight?
Yes, Lindsay, it is a painful and long task, you could imagine, as the urban search and rescue teams are going basically block by block, home by home. And here in the Eaton fire, that is an expansive task. They're on their 3rd day of doing basically a grid search. We know that 26% of their investigation has been completed in the areas where they have searched, but they have a long way to go. This were 7,000 structures that burned here throughout Altadena. Now, one of the biggest concerns, though, is unfortunately the death toll. We know that 24 people have died, some here in Eaton fire, others in the Palisades fire. Well, there are missing people's reports out. At this point, there's about 16 people that are still reported missing, linked to a possible connection here to the wildfire. So unfortunately, those cadaver dogs are searching for human remains tonight, Lindsay.
All right. And winds, of course, once again, a big threat, possibly sparking new fires. How is this impacting people, if families having to prepare to evacuate once again in the event that a new fire does break out?
Lindsay, that is the top of mind and concern for so many people here. For some residents, they want to get back to some of the areas of Altadena to see basically where their home maybe was impacted or destroyed. And for others, at the same time, you have to keep in mind, I got to make sure my go bag is ready to go. And Lindsay, I can tell you that no matter where you are in Southern California tonight, you are on edge. After seeing the images of what has happened to this community, what has happened to the Pacific Palisades, you know how critical this is, and people are taking these warnings and will heed them very seriously.
They
Lindsay.
should. All right, Melissa, our thanks to you. Now to ABC's Alex Prochet in Palisades. And Alex, I know you've been driving around getting a firsthand look at the devastation. What's been most striking for you, what you've noticed about this fire?
Lindsay, I think it's the randomness of it all. I mean, we're here on a street and you look to this side, all the houses here are completely destroyed. The only thing that's left here, I mean, you see a burnt out shell of a washer and dryer and that chimney and these steps. But then you pivot over this way and here's a house that, aside from maybe some smoke damage, looks like it's completely intact. And for many of these residents, I mean, they can't make heads or tails of any of this. You can't process just, who's the lucky ones, who's not, or who's coming back to next to nothing. So that's something that we've heard from a lot of members of this community.
And Alex, you've gotten a chance to speak to victims today, gotten a true sense of the neighbors helping neighbors notion. What are you observing?
Yeah. That's right, Lindsay. We stumbled upon a gentleman who lives at the end of this block, and he's one of the lucky ones. His home was saved, and he believes it's because of a Good Samaritan or a group of Good Samaritans, because when that fire came through, he and his 4 kids and his wife, they evacuated, not knowing the fate of their home. But take a listen to what he told me.
And that's when I saw this, and I really want to show you this because I hadn't noticed it before. But I started looking for this hose, and it was extended over my yard. Somebody had taken the garden hose from the front yard, and they had stood there before I had arrived, and they had tried to extinguish, or maybe they had extinguished, the fire that burnt this part of the fence and the fire that was burning these trees. Some neighbor who I don't know, I still don't know who did it to this day, had put out the fire at my house.
What a great story there, Alex. Just love to see that. Truly, neighbor helping neighbor. Alex Brachet, thanks so much. Tonight, authorities in the fire zone say that they have made at least 36 arrests, some for looting. But at the same time, thousands are stepping up to help. A massive grassroots donation center has popped up, offering everything from clothes to coffee pots to wheelchairs. Kana Whitworth reports from Altadena, California.
With a fresh round of fierce winds threatening more homes tonight, a growing relief effort to help tens of thousands who have already lost everything.
Sorry, I feel so bad for the people, so just wanted to come help somebody.
So many in desperate need. LA's new district attorney is warning anyone who tries to take advantage of them will face the consequences.
So the criminals have decided that this is an opportunity, and I'm here to tell you that this is not an opportunity. You will be arrested. You will be prosecuted.
At least 9 people have been arrested for looting, and prosecutors say some fire victims are also facing price gouging on everything from medical supplies to hotels. The Harrison Kambaramis and their twins lost everything when the fire swept through their rental home in Altadena, including Ferris-sized professional film gear. They say their insurer refused to cover them when they moved to a nearby rental in November.
We were kicking ourselves like when we saw the Palisade fire start. All of a sudden we're like, we never got another policy. And so, of course, it was too late at that point because our home burned the next day. Yeah.
So you saw it and you thought about it?
Yeah, I feel sick about it.
Thousands now converging on the Santa Anita racetrack parking lot. It started with food vendors feeding their community.
They're giving away free food.
Their efforts going viral.
We have wheelchairs, we have coffee pots, we have blankets.
And tonight, organizers are urging anyone impacted by the fires to come get what they need.
So we're really hoping that we get more people that need these items to come and pick up the donations.
The time is now.
The time is now.
So helpful and grateful for that outreach, I'm sure. Our thanks to Kana. President Biden says a hostage release and ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas is, quote, on the brink. There are still American hostages in Gaza tonight. Our chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest.
Tonight, President Biden says a long-sought deal to release the hostages held by Hamas in exchange for a ceasefire in Gaza is finally within reach.
We're on the brink of a proposal that I laid out in detail months ago, finally coming to fruition.
With just days left in office, the White House working closely with Donald Trump's Mideast negotiator to broker a deal. The president-elect has been blunt.
If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
Sources tell us the deal would initially see Hamas releasing over 30 hostages, including some Americans. The administration believes there are 7 American hostages in Gaza, 3 of whom are thought to be alive. In exchange, Israel would pause fighting so desperately needed aid can get into Gaza, clearing the way for the remaining hostages to be released and ultimately a new governing body to be established.
With the Santa Ana winds roaring back, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z. Ginger, certainly another long night ahead in the fire zone. Give us a sense of what we can expect.
Yeah, Lindsay, I thought it was really important, the words and the strong wording that the National Weather Service Los Angeles used. They said that this setup is about as bad as it gets. Now, it is going to be different than last week. We've got these, Santa Ana winds that come through, but this upper level support, what you're seeing on the map right there, that kind of squeezes and makes it even more intense. And that's why they have this PDS, as we call it, a particularly dangerous situation, red flag warning for the areas that you see highlighted there. This is where extreme fire risk will be from tomorrow morning through noon on Wednesday. So it's the Santa Monica Mountains, it's the San Gabriel there, the eastern ones, San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties. By tonight, Calabasas, Agoura Hills, and those PDS red flag warnings are for the northern part, but you have a red flag warning that's quite strong, gusts of 45 to 60 miles per hour all the way down to the Mexican border. So that's still in the critical fire danger because the humidity is really low too. So those go through Wednesday. It's time-wise, starts tomorrow morning. We've got gusts at Fillmore at nearly 40, Santa Clarita at 40, Pacific Palisades even with gusts to 20. And these models don't show all of the little inner workings of the canyons and such. So some of those will be even higher. And that's why we have wind gusts up to 70, 75 miles per hour within that red flag warning. What that does to a fire is you've got a large wildfire that can spread really rapidly and have explosive growth. And that's why they're concerned going through noon Wednesday. And Lindsay, we of course have to be tracking that Arctic air because so many people are getting in the chill. 22, that feels like, or 22 below, not even above, but 22 below there in Minneapolis tomorrow morning. Look at Washington, D.C. falling back into the single digits by Wednesday morning.
And Ginger, I do know it's your birthday, so perhaps as you're blowing out those birthday candles tonight, we'll say, a collective wish for you that those Santa Ana winds are going to slow down. Ginger, happy birthday to you.
That would be the greatest wish. Thank you.
Still much more to get to. A black man found hanging in the Deep South. The mounting questions over a missing bone and 2 autopsies with different conclusions. We talked to the victim's widow. But next, a court steps in to order the rescue of trapped miners who say many died as they waited for help.
The news never stops.
From Tampa, we are here tonight as Hurricane Milton has just made landfall.
The surge just keeps coming up.
Right on the border between Ukraine and Russia.
We're in artillery position about 2 miles away from Gaza.
And ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
We're not far from where this rally took place, so just stick with us here.
Traveling with the president to the U.S.-Mexico border.
Here in London today.
Off the coast of Gaza.
Downtown Tel Aviv, rockets or missiles coming in.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii. Some areas are still smoldering.
Wherever the story.
From the front lines,
the ruins of Rafah.
From the FBI.
Reporting from Capitol Hill.
In western Portugal.
Outside of Mexico City.
In Iceland.
Let's go.
Here in France.
The eclipse across America.
Just stunning.
Unbelievable.
Streaming live to you.
Wherever the story is.
Wherever the story is.
We're going to take you there.
You're streaming.
ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
You're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live. Streaming free everywhere because the news never stops.
For the record, your name is Xavier Collins.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
Yes.
When was the last time you saw Cal Bradford alive?
Agent Collins, have a seat.
I walked the president to his room at 2204.
When did you discover the body?
At 801, that's when I found him lying next to his bed.
Did you kill him?
No.
Is a part of you happy that Cal is dead?
Something serious about to happen. I have an idea.
You guys have eyes on your targets.
Shouldn't we strategize?
Come on, we're gonna improvise. Freestyle.
No.
Reporting from New York, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. You're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back, everyone. We're tracking several headlines around the world. A court order is forcing South African authorities to rescue trapped illegal miners. They've been engaged in a tense standoff since November. Since then, trapped miners have sent written messages saying more than 100 others have died with their bodies rotting in the tunnels. Advocacy groups say there are between 400 and 800 miners underground. Intense rains in Bolivia devastated the town of Quimay in the eastern part of the country. Dozens of homes were ripped apart or swept away by overflowing rivers. About 500 families had their homes damaged. Residents have been asked to evacuate amid fears of landslides. Nearly 15 million Hindus took a dip in freezing waters today in India to kick off what is thought to be the world's largest religious gathering, according to the Hindu faithful. The holy dip is seen as cleansing oneself of sin and ending the process of reincarnation. Held every 12 years, the festival will take place over the next 45 days. Officials say they expect at least 400 million people to attend the celebration. We turn now to the death of a black Alabama man found hanging in an abandoned house 7 months after he filed a federal police brutality lawsuit. Colbert County Sheriff Eric Ballantyne confirmed to ABC News that a state autopsy ruled 39-year-old Denoris Richardson died by suicide in September, but the family's independent autopsy concluded that homicide or staged suicide cannot be ruled out, namely because the hyoid neck bone was missing from the body after it was sent to the family. Joining us now is Lee Richardson, the widow of Denoris Richardson, and family attorney Roderick Van Daniel. Thank you both so much for joining us. And Lee, of course, we're so sorry for your loss. The sheriff told ABC News the state forensic department removed the bone from your husband's body before the private autopsy and called it standard procedure. What explanation have you been given?
Actually, I have not been told anything. I haven't spoken to any of the authorities, even since I've gotten my autopsy back. That is very questionable to me with that being missing. I know that is standard procedure, but it definitely needs to be accounted for. And I also think that it needs to be made available to Dr. Shakur, and also with the crime scene photos, the rope, there are several pieces of evidence, of key evidence that should have been examined and should still be examined and investigated for a thorough investigation.
The sheriff told ABC that he, along with the FBI, who is investigating, stand by the findings that ruled your husband's death a suicide. What do you think happened to your husband?
In all honesty, I'm not 100% sure, but I do know 100% that he did not commit suicide. Denoris, since an infant, had chronic asthma and COPD. All of his life, he's been very scared and kind of anxiety. He would have anxiety attacks if he couldn't breathe. He kept his rescue inhaler on him at all times. That is just not a way that he would, even process to leave this world. I would really love to be able to have a private investigation going along with the feds also. Not questioning, that they're not going to do what they say they're going to do, but I need everything accounted for, and I need everyone to have someone behind them making sure that that investigation is thorough.
And Mr. Van Daniel, you represented Denoris in his federal lawsuit against Alabama police, alleging in part excessive force. You think the suit in any way played a part in Denoris's death?
To me, for the suit is a part of a long precedent of the community and for the Black citizens being harassed in the community. And maybe not, but the whole investigation is suspicious to me. And why wasn't the private medical examiner given the rope, given the hyoid bone, which is very important for this investigation? Also, the crime scene photographs. And again, I think this whole investigation is suspicious to me. When you asked for the hyoid bone, when you asked for the rope or the crime scene photos, what explanation were you given?
It's under investigation.
Well, they told us it's an ongoing investigation because the FBI came in.
Okay. Where do things stand with that lawsuit at this point?
We're moving forward with the lawsuit. We have Ms. Richardson, she substituted as a party, so we're moving forward. We just have to amend the complaint, but the judge awarded us to substitute her as the party.
And Lee, what would you like people to know about your husband, Denoris, as a father, as just a friend?
He was a wonderful man. He just had that spirit of uplifting. He never was negative in any way. He is the person that any friend or family member would go to for just solid advice. He's going to call it ace a ace, a deuce a deuce. He was just a very real person. He was very spiritual. And he was a great father.
Well, we thank you so much for talking with us, Lee Richardson, Roderick Van Daniel, and again, our condolences for the passing of your husband.
Thank you so much for having us.
We thank you.
And still to come, the wildfires in Southern California have burned down several houses of worship, and others are in evacuation zones. How other places of worship are making sure they can still hold services.
This family is suffocated. We are all here to help them. We're going to make this happen. We
have 96 hours to build a house.
Come on, guys, it's moving day. Let's go.
It can't be real.
This was more than just extreme home makeover. This was extreme life makeover.
Extreme Makeover Home Edition, Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
The news never stops. We are here in Israel, a nation at war.
We heard what appeared to be gunfire. The former president rushed off the stage. Hurricane Helene ravaging the coastline of Florida. It's moving really fast, screaming across the state.
And that's why ABC News Live never stops.
Taking you to the center of the story.
As news breaks live.
We hear the small arms fire around us.
We're right on the border between Ukraine and Russia.
ABC News Live is there for you at the start of your day, all morning live. ABC News Live, right there, as events unfold across the day. ABC News Live, breaking down the day's top stories.
Lyle and Eric Menendez, there is new evidence in this case.
ABC News Live Prime going there, wherever the story is.
Are you going to build it back up? And ABC News Live, lighting up the weekends.
With breaking news and all the latest pop headlines.
Happy Oscars Sunday.
A lot to watch for tonight
ABC News Live.
because the news never stops.
2025, bring it.
Bring it.
Bring it.
January mornings on GMA.
It is time to start strong in 2025.
Let's do it, people.
How you feel, how you look, being happy, really happy. The secrets and tips you want, you need to living your best. Mornings this January on GMA.
Come on, start strong.
Come on, start strong.
You're going to own 2025.
And we can't wait to help.
Let's do it, people.
Start strong with GMA.
Start strong.
Come on, start strong. Did I finish with this?
During a time when many who've lost everything in the California wildfires would turn to religion, places of worship have been destroyed or blocked off in evacuation areas. But some churches are stepping up to make sure they can still hold services. Sophie Flay with our Los Angeles partner station KABC has more.
Parishioners of St. Elizabeth of Hungary Catholic Church taking a moment to pray for their community of Altadena today. They gathered at St. Philip the Apostle Church for afternoon mass because they can't get into St. Elizabeth right now. Thankfully, the church survived the fire, but it's currently in an evacuation zone and blocked off by yellow tape. It also can't be used because it needs to be cleaned off in order for people to be able to return safely. St. Elizabeth is also a Catholic school, and we've learned that 126 students and 16 employees lost their home due to the Eaton fire. We spoke to the principal who said, you see a fire or destruction like this on TV, but you never think this is going to happen to you. They were hoping to see more people show up today, but so many of their parishioners are scattered from evacuations. We spoke to one of them who lost his home and is staying at the Pasadena Convention Center. And despite his unimaginable loss, he says he's hopeful.
This whole process of rebuilding our community, I don't think we have to do that because Altadena is not rebuilding a community because Altadena's community has actually just grown from this tragedy. And I think that's probably one of the best messages that people are saying out there when I talk to all the different people. We have grown as a community because of this tragedy. You can't ask for more than that.
It hurts to see us go through this, but I just know we're going to come out stronger. We're just that's who we are. We're just going to come out stronger. I'm firm on that.
We all need those messages of hope at this time. Our thanks to Sophie for that. Finally tonight, signs of solidarity at a football game. Just before the Los Angeles Rams took on the Minnesota Vikings tonight, singer Rachel Platten performed her hit track Fight Song as an LA Together banner could be seen over fans while images of firefighters were shown. There was also a moment of silence to honor those fighting the flames. It was another moment of support for those who've lost and given so much. And that is our show for this hour. I'm Linsey Davis. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks so much for streaming with us. Have a great night.
Wherever news breaks, it's so important to always remember that lives are changed. Here in London, in Buffalo.